Andrew, thanks for joining us on short notice, but tell me about this conversation with Baker's agent and what we thought was going to play out perhaps in their world with the Patriots.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Dan. I just thought it was interesting to talk to a guy that's been around forever. In fact, he represented a Heisman Trophy winner from Oklahoma named Steve Owens 48 years ago, and now represents the one this year. So that was an interesting story that Baker didn't go with one of the big agencies. So just talking to him and talked about his visits and talked about meeting Baker, and then he just unsolicited, talking about the draft, said that, yeah, you know, we thought the floor would be the Jets at 3, but, you know, there was a surprise team that was trying to trade up to 2, and it'll surprise you, but it was the Patriots. And I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. He said, yeah, you know, they got 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s. We didn't know if they were going to make it happen, but obviously the point became moot when the Browns picked Baker. And by the way, the Browns picking Baker, we learned about it. He learned about it, and Baker learned about it just as we did. There was no tip-off.
But do you believe the Patriots were actually interested if Baker was going to be available at 2?
You know, Dan, I do, because, first of all, there was a visit. Josh McDaniels went down there, and it was reported, not by me but by others, that they wouldn't have taken a visit unless they got the second number 1 pick. And once they did with Brandon Cooks, they agreed to a meeting. And I'm just saying the obvious. I mean, they've got a 40-year-old quarterback. They've got no backup, and they seem to be enamored with this kid. Now, whether they'd have enough ammunition or not to do it, who knows? But I think there's something there, yeah.
But from what I was told, and you might know better, that to get an interview, they had to tell them that they were interested in moving up to get him. That it wasn't that Baker or his representatives were like, you're not going to be up there. He's going to be taken before that. We don't want to waste time there. Is that a fair assessment of what happened?
That is a fair assessment.
Okay.
That when they only had 1 number 1 pick, it was moot to try to schedule an interview, and then they did. Now, whether that would have led to a blockbuster, who knows?
It's kind of fascinating, though. I mean, it makes his client look better, and it also makes the Browns look better that, hey, even Belichick wanted to go up and get him.
Yeah, and I kind of trying to delve into what is that thing about Mayfield. I mean, we look at it, yeah, he seems, you know, as good as those guys. Who knows? He's a little shorter than the other 3. He's got some more moxie than the other 3. And he just said, you know, these teams would call him and say, you know, he's got that it, whatever that it is. Now, I know people said that about Manziel, too, but he just got something with leadership and got something where he felt, and again, it's the agent talking, that not only the Browns, but certainly the Jets, probably the Broncos, if they were somehow in position to take him, and, of course, now we're talking about the Patriots. So these teams seem to have him above these other 3 quarterbacks.
But also, as an agent, a former agent, have you ever had clients that just say to a team, or you've said to a team on behalf of the client, "Hey, you know what? I'm not going to have my guy interview because you're not going to be drafting. He's going to be long gone."
I wasn't a good enough agent to have players at the draft. You know, my guys were like, "Please, anyone, Green Bay, Buffalo, whatever." But yeah, if you have that kind of leverage, I mean, it's the same thing as not working out at the combine or not doing pro days because what do you have to gain? You only have things to lose. I get it. But it was fascinating that John Dorsey, who I know from Green Bay, just like we were in Green Bay, Ted Thompson, we never knew who he really was going to pick. And Dorsey was that way. And no tip-off to the Mills or the Baker Mayfields at all. And he found out in listening and watching from Austin, Texas, as we did. And then, you know, that was it for Baker Mayfield. No noise about the Patriots or moving into the Giants spot once that happened.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.